Today we are going to look at some of the best fullbacks in FIFA 23. Hey there guys, welcome back to Hursty Games and welcome to a FIFA 23 video. Today we're going to be looking at the best left and right back options available for you at the start of FIFA 23. I want to start by saying I have found these thanks to a certain Mr. Foot Sheriff over on Twitter, so make sure you go and show him some love. He also shouts out Mitch Trading in his pictures and the tweets of these, so make sure you go and show them both some love. Both their ats will be on the screen when we're looking at the fullback cards. But there are some really good gold cards looking at the start of this game. I cannot wait to go through them, and so we're not going to wait. We're going to go straight into it. Let's go. Well, just before we do, let's hear from today's video sponsor. Do you need some more coins for your FIFA Ultimate Team? Then look no further than U7Buy. They're the cheapest and most reliable place to get your FIFA Ultimate Team coins. And if you use code Hursty at checkout, you'll get yourself an extra discount. I want to say a massive thank you to U7Buy for sponsoring us. Don't forget that code Hursty. Now let's get back to the video. Okay, so here you are. We have got the best available left backs at the start of FIFA 23, and we'll start at the beginning, and that is João Cancelo. His card looks absolutely unbelievable, just like we kind of all expected. An incredibly well-rounded card, especially for a fullback. 73 being his lowest stat on a defender is unreal. Shooting and physicality. That physicality obviously looks a tad low, but I think personally, if you whack something like an anchor or things like that onto him, he's going to be looking insane. Like, you're looking at plus 90 on the pace, you're looking at decently high defense and nearly at that 80 for physicality as well. So I think that card looks very, very good indeed. Then you've got Hernandez. Now, Hernandez is a card that I wasn't the biggest fan of in 22. I think his card looks fantastic for the start of 23. Very big pace boost. You're looking at sort of like Davies last year in 22, looking at the pace that he had at the start of the game. Hernandez is more than matching that right now. It looks a real good card. And again, 72 is the lowest stat on shooting. You can't really complain about that. I think the card looks phenomenal and is definitely going to be in a lot of people's starter teams. But I do think both of them are going to be expensive. I think all four of that top row you can see are going to be pricey. Up next, you've got Davies. Again, basically everything I've just said about Hernandez, we can copy over to Davies. Obviously, low shooting, but that just shows how crazy the Cancelo and Hernandez cards are. But I think Davies looks unreal, really versatile, great dribbling, just matching that Cancelo dribbling as well. Then you've got the slightly lower defense and physicality, but again, it's not the end of the world. I think realistically you can bump those up with chem styles. I think the beautiful thing about Davies and Hernandez is it's that early game sentinel. Anchor's very expensive at the start of the game because it does offer that pace boost. Neither of them really need it. 93, 94 pace at the start of the game is going to be more than enough to keep up with almost any card in the game. So you don't need to worry about getting to 99 at the start of the game. Whack a sentinel, you're good to go. Finishing off that top four is going to be Mendy. Another year of another broken Mendy card. But again, the card looks really good. Don't care about the shooting. Everything else is pretty gosh darn incredible. Considerably lower dribbling than the rest of them. Like, under that 80 bracket, which is a small shame, but a really good physicality. I think that stamina is going to be a big boost in that, and it's going to make him obviously looking pretty tasty anyway. Stamina at the start of the game, and again, when you're looking to play with mainly gold cards and a couple of special cards, if you get any heroes or if you're lucky enough to get an icon, if you get team of the weeks, that kind of thing, you're looking at having a high stamina, and that's going to be really effective early game. And I think he does look very good. Into the honorable mentions, you've got Robertson, who I think looks very good all round. I think his card looks better than Trent this year, which surprises me a little bit because I think personally, I think Trent's the better player IRL, but I think Robertson's card this year looks better than Trent's, which is just fair enough, I guess, but he does look very good. Alba, not the pacey Alba, I guess, that we're used to seeing as a FIFA community, but still looks a decent enough card. Quite low on the physicality, but again, you can boost that. Defense, again, boostable, and then pretty decent dribbling and pretty gosh darn good passing as well for a fullback. Again, on this whole page, the only one with higher passing is Cancelo. So I think that speaks pretty high volumes of how good he is going to be in that scenario. Spinazzola, I was a little bit surprised to see a downgrade. I thought he would stay at an 83, but I think early doors, sometimes Serie A tends to be a little bit pricey in certain positions where they don't have many OP players. Spinazzola, I think, will still have a decent value because of that. I think the Hernandez is going to be so expensive that it drives up the Spinazzola price for being sort of like, as we can see at the moment, the second best option. So I think he will be a bit pricey because of that. But again, a very nice card. Physicality, again, a little bit low, but it's not the end of the world. Renan Lodi, I think this is a really interesting one because I think him being Brazilian is going to be helpful for the new chem system and will boost players more than it would be normally just for being in the Prem and Brazilian. It has more benefits now. And I do think that he will be a little bit pricey purely because of that reason. And again, I think he'll be very usable at the start of the game. Tierney, interestingly included in this list. I think, again, his card looks pretty solid. I would say on the overall early game, I'd say it looks slightly better than Renan Lodi. I don't think it's as helpful for chem styles, for chemistry, I should say, with the new system. I don't think Scottish is going to be quite as used unless you're looking to run Lyndon Dykes up top. My goat. And then you've got Mendes. I've talked about in a previous video. I think Mendes looks unreal. I think his card is going to be very, very usable at the start of the game. I think it's just that little bump on pace, solid dribbling and stuff, and then the defense and physicality easily boosted. But these left backs all look very good. I think the better looking left back on this page personally is Hernandez, and then Cancelo. Kind of makes sense as they're the two highest rated. I think Robertson looks very versatile. I'll be interested to see if he's able to play in the midfield because I think that card as a DM would be unreal. But these are the best left backs. Let's look at the right backs. And here they are again. Shout out to Foot Sheriff and to Mitch Trading for putting this together. Let's start off, as we did last time, with Kyle Walker. The first choice, Kyle Walker, I think looks very, very usable. I'm not surprised to see him on this list, but also not surprised to see him pretty much at the top of it. Obviously, higher rated right backs available, but Walker is dubbed to be potentially the top pick. And I'm not surprised by that at all. Very versatile, very good looking card. Good physicality, good defense. Dribbling is a tad low in regards to, you know, top meta. But again, early start of the game, it's not going to be the end of the world. I think it'll be very expensive, very, very expensive at the start of the game, as will Hakimi. I think Hakimi looks honestly pretty much just as good. The defense and physicality are a little bit lower, but I think the cards look pretty sort of contrasting the fact that Hakimi's got that extra shooting, which isn't the end of the world for a fullback for sure, but the passing a little bit boosted, dribbling a little bit boosted, and then obviously falling behind a bit on defense and physicality. But I think again, for the links, for it being PSG, for it being Ligue 1, I think he's going to be pricey. Anyway, by far the best right back in the Ligue 1, as we can see by the rest of the players on the screen. Llorente's a really interesting one. Obviously, normally a centre mid, or has been this FIFA, or we've been used to seeing him as, but he does play as a fullback. He does play defensively as well. I assume he'll be able to play right back and centre mid. I don't know if right back is the first primary choice on his card, or if it is centre mid. I guess it doesn't really matter. If he can play right back, people will play him there as well. Super, super versatile card. Like we said with the Robertson on the left backs, I think this would be better as a centre mid, but that high pace, I think, is going to make him very usable as a fullback. Again, kind of would perfectly suit like an Anchor Chem style, just to boost that up a little bit. But super versatile, super solid card. One of those kind of cards you see like people start at 5 and then move somebody into the midfield. I think Llorente would be that kind of perfect fit into that. Again, Spanish, Atletico Madrid, Liga Santander, great links as well. Finishing off the top 4, the top right backs on this list is Cuadrado. Again, not surprised to see him there. Kept his pace, even though he's obviously pushing on a little bit age-wise. Kept his pace. Physicality, a tad low, but again, we've seen a couple of lower physical players in these lists on the left back and stuff as well, and I think he is more than good enough and justifiably in this. Going to be the best right back we've seen in the Serie A, so again, is going to have his price bumped up because of that reason. I think he will stand out quite a bit, and I think you'll see this guy in a lot of teams, being Juventus, being one of the best right backs in that league. I think it's relatively inevitable. Going into the honourable mentions, we'll start off with Trent. If you compare his stats, like I was talking about, to Robertson, I'm fairly sure the only stat he is better at is passing, which doesn't surprise me. Incredible passer of the ball. Slightly surprised his shooting is that low. Obviously, he's pretty good at free kicks, although it could be that free kicks fall into passing. Actually, I can't remember. I think they do fall in shooting. I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on everything because I get some things wrong. But I'm slightly surprised that Trent stats look a little bit underwhelming. I don't think he looks that amazing. I think it's a real shame. For me, honourable mention is the right thing to do because of his rating, but I don't think it's an honourable mention because of his actual card. I think the card's a tad underwhelming. Carvajal, I think, again, this will be a cheaper alternative to the Llorente. I think he will be a little bit cheaper just because of that 82 pace, but I think he looks pretty viable. I think he looks pretty usable. Again, a chem style or having other Spanish and Real Madrid players in there to help him out, get him those chemistry. I think you're laughing. I think you've got good cards on your hands with the boosted chemistry. Reece James, again, I think it's going to be like a cheap Kyle Walker. Obviously, lower pace, but again, easily boosted. And again, I think very versatile, triple stack, cap gun Tom where you at. Things you'll have to see. Really, really solid card. And I expect to see him in a lot of people's like mid to sort of high-ish end teams for the start of the game. I think he will be a little bit pricey. But talking of pricey, I think Missouri is going to be very expensive. Bundesliga fullbacks. Did we have many Bundesliga fullbacks? I think we just had Davies on the other list. I don't think we had another left back. So from what we can see here, start of the game, here is your best Bundesliga right back option, and I don't think he's going to be cheap. Bayern Munich and Bundesliga links. Obviously, a couple of different Moroccan players across a couple of different leagues. Obviously, one of the other best options also happens to be a right back, which is a shame for them. But I think a very versatile, very usable card. Great pickup from Bayern Munich. And again, I think he will be very, very solid with the correct chemistry on him. Jesus Navas, by the way, these last ones, as you can see, are just predicted stats. So this, I'm just going to be running off of what has been put in front of me. I have to go with the predicted stats in front of me. I think Navas, the low physicality is somewhat to be expected because he has a very low physicality in the other FIFAs. This FIFA as well is included. I think that low physicality will slightly leave a bit of a sour taste in the mouth. I don't think he'll be that incredible. I think he'll be okay, but I think he'll be slightly underwhelming. Di Lorenzo, a bit of a competition there for Cuadrado. I still think Cuadrado's card looks better. Quite well rounded though, pretty decent, and will be a cheaper alternative. Basically the same sort of spiel as the Spinazzola stuff. I think he'll be raised up in price because Cuadrado will be expensive, but I think he'll be a cheaper option for sure. Semedo, I think, looks decent. Again, he tends to be a pretty good starting fullback most FIFAs. I think the thing that kind of undersells this version of it a little bit is the passing. So if his passing is like these predicted stats, I think it will be a little bit underwhelming. And then finishing off is Mbabu. I'm not surprised to see him on this list. Obviously getting his move over to the Prem, playing for Fulham. I expect to see him picked up quite a bit. I think he'll be one of those players that sits at like a couple of thousand coins for a good chunk at the start and then just drops all of a sudden to like 900 coins. And it's just like, you've lost 4K. Sorry. But yeah, I think overall, right backs, I don't think the right back options are quite as exciting as the left backs, but I do think there's a better average sort of quality of player. For me, the ones I'm most excited about, Kyle Walker and Hakimi both look great. Llorente, I'd love to see how he's used in-game and how he sort of feels as a fullback card instead of in that midfield. And then Missouri. I think for me, those are the ones I'm most excited about. Let me know again in the comments down below, which right backs are you excited about for the start of the game? But that is going to be it. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this. If you would like to see my thoughts on other cards that come out once we have some more leaked stats and some more leaked cards, then do let me know by leaving a comment down below and leaving a like on this video to let me know that you enjoyed it. Of course, please do if you did, and make sure you hit that sub button and turn notifications on to be told at any time that we upload a video. If you want to watch our live streams, it's Hursty Games over on Twitch. There is a link down below in the description. And while you're down there, make sure you check out our channel sponsors as well. Massive thank you for supporting them. And of course, massive thank you for them supporting us as well. Much love to you. But that's it from me. Thank you for watching. I've been Tom. You guys have been awesome. And I will see you soon. Look after yourselves. And of course, wash your hands
his name
in a
is
bit.
Hursty. Slap bald head, yeah, it'll probably hurt me. Bang top bins, it'll probably hurt you. Ginger, streamer, platform, YouTube. Drop a name in the chat, we'll say hello. Entertain you already know. Capital H, yeah, I'm a read it slow. Hursty Games, yeah, you already know.